Now, last night's ceremony also touched on the Me Too and Time's Up movements.
We want to bring in Jill Stanley right now. She is a former prosecutor and also the founder of Proof with Jill Stanley. Jill, thank you for joining us. Let's get right to Kobe. Plenty of congratulations for sure, but also social media lit up with anger when he won.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the hypocrisy is just so apparent. But let's not only limit it just to Hollywood. Nike still endorses Kobe Bryant. He got MVP in 2008. This is a 15-year-old incident. He was charged. He was arrested. The process started. Ultimately, he was never convicted of anything because the victim refused to testify, and that was a whole host of reasons. But there is hypocrisy in Hollywood, but we're seeing it in professional sports and with the sponsors. So who do we hold accountable here?
But not just with Kobe Bryant as well, with Gary Oldman with domestic abuse allegations. Again, he denies those allegations, but people were upset about that as well.
Yeah, and Gary was not charged with anything, but the allegations were pretty detailed and freshly made. So it wasn't as if she came 5 years later and said, hey, by the way, this is what Gary did to me. They were made at the time.
Let's talk a little bit about Frances McDormand. She dropped a 2-word bomb during her acceptance speech. So tell us, what is an inclusion writer?
As a lawyer, I was so excited when she shouted this out. I think everyone was on their Google looking for what the heck is this thing? So a rider, as many of us know, is just an addition to a contract. We usually think about it in terms of insurance, but it's just kind of another stipulation that goes with the whole contract. And what's so cool about the inclusion rider is it is exactly how it sounds. It's about inclusion. So cast and crew on a major project have to reflect what society looks like. That means more women, different races, people with disabilities, more members of the LGBTQ community. And so what happens is, A-listers only, by the way, can have anything to do with this. The average actor cannot control anything, cannot sign an inclusion rider that is going to be persuasive to any studio. But an A-lister coming in and say, hey, you know what? I'll do your film, but here's what you're going to do. You're going to have the rest of the cast and crew look like the way the world looks. So it's not just going to be all white men.
And what's remarkable, Jill, is that when she came backstage to explain all of this to us last night, she said she had just found out about it. And Frances McDormand said she's been in the business for 35 years. She stole the show last night, and you and Carolyn were talking before. Were you happy with the presence of the Time's Up movement at the Academy Awards? It would seem a little more subdued than what we saw at the Golden Globes.
You know what? I was happy. I really don't know why we all stopped wearing black, though. I would have liked to have seen that continue because that's a really forceful statement.
And you obviously like black.
And I like black. and I would have liked to have seen that. But I was blown away by Frances McDormand. I thought she was brilliant. And why was she brilliant? Well, she just learned about this. So she has the foresight to think, hey, you know what? I just learned about this really cool thing that I could do for others. And if I win, I'm going to use my platform to share this information because, you know, there's not like a private little Facebook group for A-listers. Where else could we share this information? We could tweet it, but it might get lost. Here we have a captive audience of A-listers. I am going to tell these A-listers exactly what an inclusion rider is. I'm going to get everyone talking about it so that and they can renegotiate old contracts, studios are not going to be in a position to say, hey, you know what? A-lister, we're not going to sign that. We're not going to be okay with that inclusion rider because then the whole world now knows what it is. So she really did something super powerful, so smart, so just brilliantly put in the forum when we have this captive audience. I loved it. I had chills. I guess I'm a little sensitive about the whole Time's Up, Me Too movement. You guys know that about me. I tend to get a little overexcited about it, but I do feel this sea change. And I do hate the hypocrisy that was there, but this is all part of change. It's not going to happen overnight.
It was a powerful moment. Jill, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Good to see you.
You too.